Jai Hind students, how are you all? I hope you all are enjoying your this lockdown period at home. Okay, so today we are starting a very interesting chapter, a very interesting story, and the name of the story, the title of the story is The Adventures of Toto. Who is this Toto? That you will get to know when we will read the story. Let me quickly give you an introduction about it. It's an interesting story. The narrator's grandfather was fond of keeping different pets. Okay, and one day he bought Toto. I'm not gonna disclose who is Toto. Okay, so one day he bought Toto from a Tonga driver, and you know, Toto is very mischievous, and he used to do pranks. He was very amusing also. The family members, they enjoyed these pranks which were done by Toto, but with the passage of time his mischiefs became wilder, and you know, he broke many things in the house. At last the house people, they realized that keeping Toto at home is not safe, and they sold Toto back to the Tonga driver at a very cheap rate. Okay, so I have given you an introduction of Toto, but who is Toto, that we are going to see in the animated video which I have prepared for you all. So let's begin. Jai Hind, dear students. So let's begin. Let's explore who is this Toto. Okay, so we are going to explore who is Toto, and we are going to discuss and to read this very interesting story by Ruskin Bond, The Adventures of Toto. By this picture, I hope you all have guessed who is Toto now. Yes, you guessed it right. Toto, it is a monkey, and Toto, he was a very mischievous monkey. Okay, so let us read. Fine. Grandfather bought Toto from a Tonga driver for the sum of 5 rupees. The Tonga driver used to keep the little red monkey tied to a feeding trough, and the monkey looked so out of place there that grandfather decided he would add the little fellow to his private zoo. The meaning of the word feeding trough is already given, a large container for feeding animals, that is called feeding trough. You can see here in the picture a kind of a square now, that is called. Okay, so what's happening here? The writer's grandfather. Who is the writer? Writer is Ruskin Bond. So Ruskin Bond's grandfather, he purchased a monkey whose name was Toto. He purchased it from home, from a Tonga driver, and he purchased it for how much, what is the amount, for how much amount he has purchased it? For 5 rupees. Okay, the Tonga driver had tied the little red colored monkey to a feeding trough so that he could not run away. Okay, when the writer's grandfather saw the monkey, he had a desire to add him to the collection of animals which he had in his zoo at home. So grandfather, basically he was having a zoo at home, and he decided that I am having all the animals in my zoo, so let me add this pretty monkey also to my collection. Okay, now see, Toto was a pretty monkey. His eyes sparkled with mischief beneath deep set eyebrows, and his teeth, which were a pearly white, were very often displayed in a smile that frightened the life out of elderly Anglo-Indian ladies. But his hands looked dried up, as though they had been pickled in the sun for many years. Yet his fingers were quick and wicked, and his tail, while adding to his good looks, grandfather believed a tail would add to anyone's good looks. Okay, Also served as a third hand. He could use it to hang from a branch, and it was capable of scooping up any delicacy that might be out of reach of his hand. Okay. Here you can see its picture, Toto. You can see his eyes, how sparkling, mischievous eyes he is having. Okay. So what's happening here? Anglo-Indian means, let me show you the previous slide. Here we go. Okay, so Anglo-Indian. Okay, Anglo-Indian means a person relating to both Britain and India, foreigners. Okay, that is called Anglo-Indian. Pickle. You all know achar. Pickled food that is preserved in vinegar. Sirka. Okay, and scooping up means lifting. Okay, so writer gives a description of Toto in this. He is giving the description of Toto, and what he is saying that he had bright shiny eyes which were full of mischief. The eyebrows were deeply set on his face. You can see here, deeply set on his face. See here in the picture. Okay, and try to relate this picture with yourself. Just kidding. Okay, so deeply set on his face. His teeth were like pearls, very bright. Okay, very white, like pearls. Many ladies belonging to Anglo-Indian community got scared. Why they got scared? They got scared when they saw his teeth, which were displayed when he smiled. So they got scared with that. Toto's hands were dry and wrinkled as if they had been dried in the sun. धूप में सुखा दिया हो. Okay, they had been dried in the sun like pickled vegetables. He had a long tail. Monkeys, they used to have a long tail. Okay, so similarly, Toto was also having a long tail. The writer's grandfather thought that the tail added to the good looks. Okay, good looks of an animal. Toto's tail was like a third hand for him. Okay, it helped him hang from the branch of a tree, and he also used it to lift objects which were beyond his hand's reach. Okay, so till here we have seen. Now let us move to the next slide. You can see Toto here, how beautiful. Then we are here now. Grandmother always first when grandfather brought home some new bird or animal. Means grandmother, she doesn't like animals. Okay, she first. So it was decided that Toto's presence should be kept a secret from her until she was in a particularly good mood. Grandfather and I put him away in a little closet opening into my bedroom wall, where he was tied securely, so we thought, to a peg fastened into the wall. So actually, you know, grandmother, she used to crib a lot whenever grandfather used to bring any new animal or any pet animal. So the grandmother, she used to crib a lot. She says, why you have brought it? There was no need for this. Okay, and so it was decided that whenever grandmother's mood will be fine, because grandmother was against the grandfather's attitude of bringing new pets. So the grandfather thought that they would conceal this fact. They will tell this to grandmother. They will conceal this fact from her until she was in a good mood. Okay. At that time, they would disclose this to her. Whenever she will be having a good mood, she will be in a very delighted mood. At that time, they will tell about Toto. The writer and his grandfather secured Toto in a little cupboard in the writer's room. So they kept Toto in a cupboard. Okay, in order to be sure that Toto did not escape, so that Toto did not ran away from their house. What they did? They tied him to a hook in the wall. Okay. Fasten means to peg. Okay, to a kind of a hook. Now see, a few hours later when grandfather and I came back to release Toto, we found that the walls which had been covered with some ornamental paper chosen by grandfather now stood out as naked brick and plaster. The peg in the wall had been wrenched from its socket, and my school blazer which had been hanging there was in shreds. You can see here what is the condition of the blazer in this picture. Whose blazer is this? The writer's blazer, Ruskin Bond's blazer. Okay, I wondered what grandmother would say, but grandfather didn't worry. He seemed pleased with Toto's performance. Okay, so there are few words. Ornamental means decorative. Naked means uncovered. Then there is a word wrenched. Wrench means broke. Socket means attachment, and another word shred. Shred means cut into thin slices. The writer and his grandfather went to Toto after a few hours because they secured him now in the cupboard. So they again went to see him. The sight was shocking when they entered the room. It was quite shocking to see the condition of the room. Toto had torn the decorative wallpaper. He had broken the hook and had escaped from his binding. Also, he tore the writer's blazer into thin pieces, and writer was thinking about grandmother. What grandmother will say now when she will get to know how she would react. Okay, so he was in tension. Now let's see. Okay, so grandfather, he seems to be very happy with, very delighted with the Toto's adventure. He felt that Toto was very clever. He said that if they would have given him more time, he would have tied the thin pieces of the writer's blazer, a torn blazer, into a rope and would have escaped through the window. Okay, now let's read further. His presence in the house still a secret. Toto was now transferred to a big cage in the servants' quarter, and where a number of grandfather's pets lived very sociably together. A tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a tame squirrel, and for a while my pet goat. But the monkey wouldn't allow any of his companions to sleep at night. The grandfather, who had to leave Dehradun next day to collect his pension in Saharanpur, decided to take him along. So there is a word used, sociably, means in a friendly manner, like you all remain in your classes now, socially, yes, in the same manner. You can see here the pictures of the animals who all were there in the zoo: a rabbit, a goat, a squirrel, a tortoise, and a new addition, that is our Toto. So Toto was shifted to the servant quarter. He was put in a cage. Finally, he would live with other pets in grandfather's zoo. The zoo comprised of a tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a squirrel, and a writer's pet goat. You can see in the picture here in the slide. Toto was very mischievous. He did not let the animals sleep at night. He was doing something to disturb all those animals. The writer's grandfather had to leave for Saharanpur the next day, as mentioned here, and he decided to take Toto along as he was unmanageable in that room. He was disturbing other animals. So grandfather decided that I'll take him along with me. Okay, now let's move. Unfortunately, I could not accompany grandfather on that trip, but he told me about it afterwards. A big black canvas kit bag was provided for Toto. Sorry. This, with some straw at the bottom, became his new abode. When the bag was closed, there was no escape. Toto could not get his hands through the opening, and the canvas was too strong for him to bite his way through. Okay, his efforts to get out only had the effect of making the bag roll about on the floor or occasionally jump into the air, an exhibition that attracted a curious crowd of onlookers on the Dehradun railway platform. Okay, so we are here. Now see what's happening. Abode means here, abode means a new home. So Toto, he got a new home where? In that sack, in that bag, okay, which was provided to carry Toto to the Saharanpur. Okay, so the writer was disappointed as he could not accompany his grandfather. Ruskin Bond, he is very disappointed as he could not accompany his grandfather and Toto on the trip. His grandfather narrated the happenings of the trip to him later on. When his grandfather came back now, he narrated what happened with him at the station or on that trip. He had got a special bag for Toto. It was made of a strong material that is called canvas. Canvas is very strong, okay. So it was made up of canvas. He placed some dry grass at the bottom of the bag so that it should be comfortable for him to sit inside it. On the trip, the bag would be Toto's home as he would live in it. A new home for him, okay. So the bag had a zipper on top of it. There was a zip. The writer's grandfather ensured that when the bag was closed now, Toto would not be able to escape out of it. He made sure that's why there was a zip and everything. Neither could he come out of the opening as it was closed with a zipper, nor could it bite the strong canvas material in order to run away. So there was no possibility for Toto because canvas is very strong. You cannot bite it with your teeth. It's not tearable, it's not that easily you cannot tear it. And similarly there was a zip, so there was no chance for Toto to come out of that bag. Okay, still Toto made unsuccessful attempts. Still he kept on trying, Toto. He kept on trying to come out of the bag. Due to this, many times the bag would roll on the floor or it would certainly jump in the air. These movements were noticed by the people on the railway platform and made them curious to know what was inside the bag. See, you imagine you are traveling to some place and you are standing at a railway station, and next to you standing another man having a bag, canvas bag, okay, placed there at the railway station. Now all of a sudden you are also standing and that person is also standing. The bag is also kept on the railway station floor, and all of a sudden, you know, that bag starts jumping and rolling. What would you feel? You will be shocked now. You will be curious what is there inside this bag. Why this bag is jumping itself? Okay. So similarly, the situation was there at the railway platform. Everybody was curious to know about that bag. What is inside that bag? Okay. So it attracted the attention of the travelers. Now see, Toto remained in the bag as far as Saharanpur. But while grandfather was producing his ticket at the railway turnstile, what is a turnstile? A mechanical gate consisting of revolving horizontal arms fixed to a vertical post, allowing only one person at a time to pass through. You can see here in the picture. That would be much easier than the explanation because explanation is very long. You can see here in the picture. You all must have seen this. In fact, you all must have passed also through this. This kind of a gate now, this kind of a gate is called turnstile. Okay. Toto suddenly poked his head out of the bag and gave the ticket collector a wide grin. Okay, so Toto remained in that secured bag of grandfather till Saharanpur. Okay, he was there inside the secured bag. At the Saharanpur railway station, the writer's grandfather was taking out his ticket to cross the turnstile. Turnstile, I told you, I have even shown you here in the picture, turnstile. At that time, Toto peeped out of the bag and smiled at the ticket collector. So there Toto got a chance to, look outside from that bag. and he looked towards whom? He looked at the ticket collector and he gave him a smile. Okay? Now see. The poor man was taken aback, but with great presence of mind and much to grandfather's annoyance. Annoyance means to anger someone. Okay, and taken aback means shocked. He said, "Sir, you have a dog with you. You will have to pay for it accordingly." So the ticket collector was very much astonished. He was shocked to see a monkey in grandfather's bag. He recovered quickly and asked grandfather to pay the ticket money for traveling with a dog. With a dog? Yes, with a dog, he said. Now see, in vain did grandfather take Toto out of the bag. In vain. In vain means unsuccessful attempt. When we tried for something and we do not get success, that is called in vain. Did he try to prove that a monkey did not qualify as a dog or even as a quadruped? Who is a quadruped? Quadruped, an animal which has 4 feet. So dog is having 4 feet and monkey is having 2 feet. That's sort of a difference the grandfather told to the ticket collector. Okay, Toto was classified a dog by the ticket collector and 3 rupees was the sum handed over as his fare. Fare means ticket price. Okay. So grandfather was unsuccessful. Okay. Why he was unsuccessful? He was unsuccessful in explaining to the ticket collector that Toto was a monkey. That Toto was a monkey and not a dog. He insisted that Toto was not even an animal with 4 feet. Quadruped is used now. So he said that Toto is not an animal with 4 feet. Can't you see? But the ticket collector was firm. Okay. And he was very firm that Toto fell in the category of dogs. Grandfather had to pay 3 rupees for Toto's ticket. Okay, fine. Now let's move. Then grandfather, just to get his own back. What is this own back? Just to take the revenge. He was very much annoyed with the ticket collector's behavior because he charged 3 rupees as the fare for Toto. Also he said consider Toto in the dogs category. So our grandfather, he was very much annoyed with the ticket collector, and to get his own back means to take revenge. He thought of taking revenge from ticket collector, took from his pocket our pet tortoise and said, "What must I pay for this since you charge for all animals?" So he was very annoyed and he said, "See, I am having a tortoise also in my pocket. Do you want to charge for this also? Then take it." The ticket collector looked closely at the tortoise, prodded. Prodded means pushed. Okay? Prodded it with his forefinger, gave grandfather a pleased and triumphant look and said, "No charge. It is not a dog." So the ticket collector took a close look at the tortoise and pushed it slightly, very slightly pushed it. Prodded means pushed it, and announced his grandfather was not required to buy a ticket for it as it did not fall in the category of a dog. So tortoise can go without fare. Okay, now let's see. When Toto was finally accepted by grandmother, he was given a comfortable home in the stable where he had for a companion the family donkey Nana. So finally our Toto was accepted by grandmother. Grandmother, she was having no problems with Toto. She accepted Toto, and Toto was given a comfortable home in a stable. Stable means a building set apart and adapted for keeping horses. जहाँ पे horse रहते हैं, that is known as stable. So grandfather paid him a visit to see if he was comfortable. So grandfather, he decided to see whether our this Toto monkey is comfortable with his new companion Nana or not. Nana donkey, okay. To his surprise, he found Nana without apparent cause, pulling at her halter and trying to keep her head as far as possible from a bundle of hay. Halter, what is halter? Okay, halter, a strap. Halter means a strap or loop placed around the head of a horse or other animals, used for leading or tethering it. That is called halter. So the writer's grandmother finally came to know of Toto's presence in the house. She allotted him space in the stable along with the family donkey. Name was the donkey Nana. On the first night in the stable, grandfather visited Toto. He found Nana restless. Nana was very restless. Donkey was restless. Monkey was not restless at all. Okay. Pulling its rope in order to stay away from the heap of hay. What was the reason? Now see. Grandfather gave Nana a slap across her haunches. Haunches means back. Okay? He gave a slap at the back of Nana and she jerked back. Okay, she moved back, dragging Toto with her. And Toto was also dragging with Nana. He had fastened onto her long ears with his sharp little teeth. Oh, that was the scene. Toto and Nana never became friends. So grandfather hit Nana on the back in order to stop it. Nana jumped back with a jerk and Toto was dragged along with her. Actually, Toto was hanged with to Nana's ears. That was the reason. Nana was restless. Okay. And they never became friends. So now let's see. A great treat for Toto during cold winter evenings was the large bowl of warm water given him by grandmother for his bath. You can see here in the picture also. He would cunningly test the temperature with his hand, then gradually step into the bath, first one foot, then the other, as he had seen me doing, until he was into the water up to his neck. So Toto, he was given in the winter season na, Toto enjoyed having a warm bath. Garam pani se nahata tha wo. Okay. He would pretend to be selfish and before starting his bath he would check the temperature of the water. He himself checked the temperature of the water. How strange. He would copy the writer, as he used to copy the writer, and stepped into the tub. How? 1 foot at a time. Okay. So finally he would sit in the water with his face out of it. Okay. So you can see here in the picture also and relate to this. Once comfortable, he would take the soap in his hands or feet and rub himself all over. So he used to bathe himself only. Okay, you can see he used to have soap in his own hands and he used to rub himself all over. When the water became cold, he would get out and run as quickly as he could to the kitchen fire in order to dry himself, because it was winter season now, that's why. If anyone laughed at him during this performance, Toto's feelings would be hurt and he would refuse to go on with his bath. One day, Toto nearly succeeded in boiling himself alive. So see what's happening here. Then I told you that he used to take bath himself. He used to rub the soap himself all over his body. Okay, so when the water became cold, he would run out of it to the stove in the kitchen. He wants to have that warmth. So garmi chahta tha, that's why he used to run into the kitchen. Toto got annoyed if he was laughed upon. If anybody used to mock upon Toto during all this process, so he used to be very upset. Toto got annoyed and he would get hurt, and then he refused to take bath. He becomes so, if anybody mock on him during all this process, so he used to become very upset by all this, and he refused to take bath, that I'm not going to take bath anymore. Okay, the writer recollects an incident when Toto had almost boiled himself. Writer says that there was an incident in the past when Toto had almost boiled himself in the water. How? Let's explore. A large kitchen kettle, you can see here in the picture, had been left on the fire to boil for tea, and Toto, finding himself with nothing better to do, decided to remove the lid. Finding the water just warm enough for a bath, he got in with his head sticking out from the open kettle. This was just fine for a while until the water began to boil. Toto then raised himself a little, but finding it cold outside, sat down again. Okay, so hold means, okay, what's happening here? See, once what happened, in a large kettle, water was boiling on the stove, and Toto, because he was very mischievous, very naughty, so Toto climbed up to the stove and removed the lid from it. Okay, he felt that the water was warm enough for him to take a bath. He decided to have a bath because water is warm enough. Fine, let me take a bath. He entered the kettle with his head out of it. Okay, when the water started boiling, it became hot for Toto. Initially, though, it was okay when water was not that much warm. Hot water was only warm, it wasn't hot. But once it started becoming hot, it was very difficult for Toto. He thought of coming out of the kettle, but as the temperature outside was cold for him, he stayed in. Many times he thought that let me go out of the kettle, because outside it was winter season, outside it was very cold. So he thought, okay, let me remain. So outside it was very cold, so he thought, okay, let me remain inside this kettle only. Now let's see what's happening. He continued hopping up and down for some time until grandmother arrived and hauled. Hauled means pulled him out. Okay, hauled means to pull him out. Him half boiled out of the kettle. You can see here in the picture also. So what's happening here? I told you that he thought of coming out of the kettle, but because it was cold outside, so he thought, let me remain inside only in the water, and he kept on jumping in the kettle. He kept on jumping in the kettle for a while. It was when the writer's grandmother arrived that she took the half-boiled monkey out of the kettle. Otherwise, Toto would have died on that day. If grandmother would have not arrived on time, he must have died on that day because of his mischief. If there is a part of the brain specially devoted to mischief, that part was largely developed in Toto. He was always tearing things to pieces. Whenever one of my aunts came near him, he made every effort to get hold of her dress and tear a hole in it. So what he was doing, he was a kind of a destructive monkey. Okay, he was more into destruction. So what he used to do, every time he used to break the things, tearing things into pieces. And the writer is saying that one day my aunts came, so whenever my aunts used to came to my home, he used to tear their dress and make a hole in that. Okay, so the writer is saying that if there is a part in our brain that governs our ability to create mischief, then that part in Toto's brain was highly developed, as he had a great capacity to do mischief. He was very naughty, so that's why writer is saying like this. He was always busy doing mischief. Whenever the writer's aunt passed him, he tried to tear their dresses. Okay, now let's move. One day at lunchtime, a large dish of pulao stood in the center of the dining table. We entered the room to find Toto stuffing himself with rice. My grandmother screamed and Toto threw a plate at her. One of my aunts rushed forward and received a glass of water in the face. means Toto threw the glass of water on her face. Okay, see how mischievous Toto is. Okay, and then see what happened. When grandfather arrived, Toto picked up the dish of pulao and made his exit through a window. So spite means, okay, so again the writer is describing, he recollects another incident when Toto created a lot of mischief. At lunchtime, a dish of rice was placed on the dining table, and when the family reached to eat now, they found Toto eating it. Toto stuffing himself with that rice. The writer's grandmother screamed at Toto, and in response he threw a plate at her. When the aunts tried to catch Toto, he threw a glass of water on their face. When the grandfather arrived, Toto left the place through a window with the dish of rice along with him. So he took that dish also, that plate also along with him only, and made an exit through the window. We found him in the branches of the jackfruit tree. You can see here in the picture. The dish still in his arms. He remained there all afternoon, eating slowly through the rice, determined on finishing every grain. And then, in order to spite means a desire to hurt, annoy or offend someone, grandmother who had screamed at him, he threw the dish down from the tree and chattered the way monkeys speak. The sound produced by the monkey, that is called chattering, with delight when it broke into 100 pieces. So Toto remained out the entire afternoon on that tree, on that jackfruit tree, and he seems to be very much determined to eat all the pulao, all the rice. As you know, the grandmother had screamed on him now. He wanted to annoy her further, because grandmother, when she entered the room, she saw that Toto is eating that pulao. She screamed. You remember when he threw the plate on her face? So he wants to annoy grandmother more. Okay, and for that, what he did, after eating the rice, he threw the dish from the tree. Okay, he threw the dish from the tree, and it broke into several pieces, and Toto was very happy, very happy. Now let's see. Obviously, Toto was not the sort of pet we could keep for long. Even grandfather realized that. We were not well-to-do and could not afford the frequent loss of dishes, clothes, curtains and wallpaper. So grandfather found the Tonga driver and sold Toto back to him for only 3 rupees. So story started from the Tonga driver. It ends at the Tonga driver only. Finally, by seeing the mischiefs of Toto, grandfather realized that Toto was not suitable to be kept at home. They could not afford the frequent losses that he gave him, like he tore clothes, curtains, wallpapers, he broke dishes. Okay, so the grandfather sold Toto back to the same Tonga driver for a sum of 3 rupees. He purchased him for the sum of 5 rupees and he sold him at a loss of 2 rupees, means at 3 rupees. So he sold him for 3 rupees. Okay, so this is all about our story. I hope you would have liked this story. It's very interesting, isn't it? So it's a very light mood story about a monkey, how grandfather brought that monkey home, then what all mischievous things he did there, what were the incidents related to it, and how finally his grandfather, after realizing that this monkey is very naughty and not suitable to be kept at home, sell him back. Okay, so very light story, just for reading pleasure. It is for reading pleasure. So I just want you all to read the story once so that you can be more clear about it. Question answers I'll be sending in the form of PDF. I'll see you very soon in my next video. Till then, take very good care of yourself. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay at home, keep practicing your lessons. Bye-bye. Take care.